I thought I would do a conversation and just see what energy wants to come through around talking about portals, because there's a lot of confusion around what portals are, right? And the thing is, and this is again, I always joke that I reserve the right to be wrong because this is, where I'm at right now. Because you can only meet everything with where you're at. But I've let go of a lot of the limiting ideas around portals because again, we can put whatever spin we want on something, and that's how it's either gonna serve us. Well, it's all serving us, even if it's working against you, it's still serving you. But you really want to actually have something work for you in an idea, right? So I'm going to choose, to see portals from a place of, this is how we allow energy to flow into us and out from us, right? Um, but I do understand that there are sometimes people say, well, there's a negative portal over there. Well, I again, every action has its equal and opposite. How does that portal work? It might be a balancing, right? It might have, because you really bought in over here, it had to exist to balance you. So we don't necessarily know the physics there. So from my personality level, I'm not going to decide, good, bad, right, wrong around portals. So what I do is I ask my team in my sacred space when I'm in my meditation. I call in, however you want to call in your team, and I'll do that in a few minutes. I will actually set up a space where we call in your team, and we'll ask them to come in and to cleanse your portals so that you are flowing, beautifully with that, divine. They call it the antakarana, but chi, prana, the river of life, right? Where energy can move through you in a really graceful way, right? And to maybe clean them and cleanse them so that whatever dams, whatever contractions they are, and sometimes our really good portals are closed because we've out of fear or out of not feeling safe, or so we might have actually inadvertently, because there's a lot of things that happen in our subconscious that are working against us, right? So we can ask for the appropriate portals to be opened, closing the inappropriate portals, and the inappropriate portals. I'm again, the ones that weren't necessarily to balance, because I have to see those as still serving. But they might be the ones where you have taken on somebody else's story, where they have created a whole, let's say their whole career has been built around studying the dangerous properties of a certain type of food, right? And or fertilizer or whatever it is they're studying or putting forward, or if they're finding it at fault and they're making a really negative story around it, it's going to have an energy, which is, again, you can call it the sphere of influence. It's essentially, it's going to be like a portal, right? And because it's all, everything's it moves like the toroidal field. Everything has that toroidal field, and it's energy moves up and down, and it's if it's got a wobble in it or it's in a distortion, it because it's maybe it's incoherent, or there's a lot of corruption in there in the whole idea, because it was created out of fear, that sort of thing, or greed. Maybe it was created to put people in fear, so they bought this product, that sort of thing, right? Or they're selling the idea of solutions on the planet, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of posturing of stories that you have to zoom back to go, this is just energy. What is that energy about then? Rather than to get personal about, so the stories at their surface, they look logical, right? When you listen to a lot of, these things when they come on the news or people are sharing their studies. And if you naturally want to just kind of buy in, there's likely something in you that has energy that, what's the word? It's got a vibrational resonance there, right? So it's wiggling something in you that it's mirroring it, that wants to be seen. This is where we're not free, because there's something about that. Maybe it's what they've produced and that is bad for you. It's just confirming something that happened in your childhood that is giving you this, maybe some disease now or something, or whatever it is, or that somebody's got a cough and it's, this thing over here confirmed it, right? That kind of. So we have all sorts of confirmation biases around these things, and that's probably why that story got called in, because it's one of the contributing, we'll say, energetic currents going to create this story over here. So again, there's a sum of our parts happening. So there's a lot of those sort of things that are active that we're not necessarily aware of, that we haven't, nobody sits and takes inventory of all the things they've agreed to, right? All the mm, all the news articles that we've agreed, this group of people are bad, or this, people that work in this industry are bad, or government and, countries and these religious people, or maybe, whatever it is, um, AI right now, that's, there's a whole bunch of studies telling you how bad AI is, right? And, and yet AI is really interesting right now because it's part of our unity consciousness. It's part of how we're coming together. It's part of how we are expanding that beautiful big database where, the old wisdom stories that used to be buried and hidden are now all available. And we, seek and ye shall find, right? It's here. And enough of us are seeking that had to show up in the field. And, I would say the feedback mechanism is saying, hey, what do you want? Right? It's all here, search, right? But you have to be a little more faith and trust in it, because, and there's your work energetically, you have to go in and collapse enough of those negative charges where you've given permission for the negative portal, right, the energy to be spinning in that way, so that you can trust then what's going to show up. It doesn't happen overnight. There is a practice to it. And so I think that's what I'm going to set up, is asking that we can get our portals basically a reset, where we can ask our teams, because you can't do it from the lower levels. These are higher dimensional mm, technology, we'll say. It's an aspect of us that it functions behind the scenes. So, and it's like, we're the driver in the car, we've got the steering wheel, but, we're not firing these pistons over here. Again, I have know nothing about cars, right? Or, we just turn the key, and there's a whole bunch of things that know what to do, that they've been programmed to work a certain way. And so it's not for me to shut down any one of them because I read a story somewhere that, pistons are bad or something, So we don't want to shut down any sort of portal just because we go, well, that's not what I put there and it must be bad, kind of thing. So I'm hoping that makes some sense. So we really do want to surrender in our when we do these processes, and trust your team, trust your spirit, right? And if you can't, and you don't have a good enough relationship with that, call in your angels, right? Call in that God, if that's just where you're comfortable, Jesus, Buddha, Shiva, right? Just trying to think of all the different gods and goddesses. There's a lot of different, ones out there. Call them in, where you can sit and really be comfortable with them. And even if it's your grandmother, right? Even, at first I was sitting in sacred space with my daughter, right? My daughter had passed, and I could trust that love, right? I could trust her fully in that space. And the beautiful thing about that, and again, I keep saying I'm going to share that story. It's going to be emotional, so I'm trying to get brave to do it, because it's a beautiful journey, and it's going to highlight a lot of the gifts that she brought in her passing, which of course no mother sees it as a gift originally. And it took me a lot of spiritual growth and work to actually now be there. And so when I share it, I think it'll be transformative for a lot of people, because there's so many magical things that happened that now I can't go back to not seeing it as a gift, right? And so if I've ever talked about my daughter, and and I sound maybe colder or unaffected, or because I should be crying, that's why. There was a lot of work done, and I cried a lot, right? And I still do, if a song or something comes on and it there's something, but mostly I just smile and laugh and dance with her. We have jokes going back and forth, and it's like she's not talking, but I know that that thing got put in front of me in that way through her, that sort of thing. So, but it forced me more into a multidimensional space. So it forced me. I mean, obviously, it's not we all have choices, right? But I was open. I created an allowance and for that energy to work through me and with me to be more real, because I knew there was some really great love for me on that side, and I really wanted to connect to it because I wanted to share my love. And the thing is, what you give out, you get back. And they say in spades, right? It comes back tenfold or whatever. I can't remember the number of it. So I now sit in my meditations and I can call in whoever I want, the big teams, the legions of angels, and I just share at the beginning, I was just sharing the love I had for Janelle with them all because they were unknown to me. I didn't know them, right? So it's very hard to be real and send love to these, I'm going to say them light beings, right? And, they're nameless and faceless. And, I can, say, the archangels of, like, the, Gabriel and Uriel and Raphael and Archangel Michael and Zadkiel and Sandalphon and Metatron, and we can start saying all the names of them, but they're still just concepts, still, right? And okay, I get that they are archangels of light, and they're probably, when we ended up stepping down our consciousness, there's going to be different levels of geometry that had to arc, to create the illusion of the matrix, right? So they're in the architecture of this reality that we're in. So I get that they're that they actually haven't been in the human body. The archangels, angels are different, right? So they're in a different, you can call it a membrane, a different layer. Um, and the archangels are on outer layers, but there's consciousness even beyond that, right? So there is, but again, I needed to trust, in that space, so that when I was tapping into this well of love that I had for Janelle, I was able to share that and with them, because I knew Janelle would want me to, right? So that made sense to me. And in that space, I ended up receiving. And again, I wasn't giving to get, because that wasn't my ambition, but I just knew that I needed to heal the pathways of what all of this meant, in that whatever shut us down into this contracted, kind of constricted, denser version of humanity. And now we're not trying to, we've been told we're in a shift, right? And we're going back into our more enlightened, empowered kind of state of being. So it makes sense to me to bring in that love, to expand my field out into a space where all those beings that can help are receiving my love and gratitude, right? And so that's what they say the heart coherence is about. And so, okay, so I'm going to do this practice, and I want everybody just to, if you have to tap your heart to start, start thinking of something that you and see yourself at your heart. You can put a beautiful temple there and drop an image of yourself sitting in this beautiful light-filled space. If you want to see yourself in a beautiful flower, or whatever your crystal temple looks like, whatever the visual that just comes organically, and don't question it. It just showed up. It might show up. It's going to probably upgrade itself over and over as you do this, because that's the way we evolve, right? And so allow it to be organic now, and see yourself there, and breathe in and out of that space. So you're anchoring into, because it's a smaller, we're going into these, you can call them subatomic levels, but it's that you're going into your core, your essence of who you are, which is felt through the heart, right? That is the portal. Your heart is your portal to access the beautiful multidimensional energy at your heart, right? And that's when we can really, really expand that field, that heart field is way more powerful than the other toric field that it's within, right? So that's the goal. The goal is to bring both of them into this beautiful um, coherent state, right? And so when you're in that space, so we're going to tap on our fields, and I drop in pretty organically now, but and you see yourself there. If you want to grow roots down into Gaia to keep yourself grounded, that's helpful too, because we're going to be bringing in some higher frequencies here. So however you want to see that. And then, so breathe out your heart energy, breathe it down to Gaia, and then see it mingling and saturating the lower part of your pillar. And then we're going to breathe it up. We're going to breathe it up like a tree, all the way up to source. And it might go through a few different, there's chakras above and below, but you might actually go through different stars, or you might connect to other planetary bodies. Just trust however that looks. But your source is going to be at the canopy, the top of your tree. And so we've just created our sphere, our beautiful sphere of who we are, our essence. So see it being saturated and filled with light and your love. So this is where you can love unconditionally. So if you can pull in a vision of yourself that needs to be loved unconditionally, maybe a certain, age, or maybe your childhood, maybe whatever it is, just love that part of you. Or if it's easier for you to find love, with an animal, or a child, a relative, you just want to feel the love, right? And you want to connect in, send and receive, right? Use your breath to assist in the love going in and out. So I'm going to call in our guides and our angels and the archangels and whatever ascended masters and councils and that work with us, that can assist us, and whatever galactic family of light that you have soul connections to as well. And we're going to ask our God presence to presence us and to merge more fully with us in this now moment, to assist in this beautiful meditation of cleansing, purification, of alignment, of the harmonizing of our fields and the balancing of our energy bodies, and assisting us in keeping the appropriate portals open. And can we call in the teams that are experts at closing and helping to dissolve any inappropriate portals that may be open to help us, that we're ready to dissolve at this time. And maybe just creating an allowance for more light to come through in the appropriate areas in these portals. If you want to give your own permission to have the structure of how energy flows through and to you and from you to be brought into its divine configuration, and so we can recalibrate and upgrade and optimize how we flow through reality, through this life, and on our highest and the most appropriate timelines. And just keep handing over. Anything comes up, any tightness, any twinge, any energy, any image, any distraction, any interference that's coming in, just keep handing it over to your teams. And just trust that they're going to come in, and that your team, you have an expert at your unique field, at your unique signature, your vibrational Merkaba and body of light and physicality. They're experts in all these areas. So they know your body and energy intimately. So just breathe and allow. there's some sonic pulses going on, and you might feel heat and coldness. Just acknowledge it and see it and thank your teams. Just keep being grateful for whatever moves through, whatever shifts are happening in alignments. It's going to be different for every person. So we have to trust that whatever is showing up is meant to show up in this moment. There's a beautiful balancing and a harmonizing here. Everything's feeling tuned and spacious. It's beautiful. There's a nice flow. If your body wants to move in any way, just move with it, trust it. These are your signals that your body is activating within you to assist you in learning to trust your intuition, trust your inner being, and your spirit know how to work with these higher systems. I call upon the violet flame of transmutation to assist us in transmuting and alchemizing all lower energies, lower dense energies, to find their divine expression, to dissolve, or transmute as appropriate for me. I thank my teams for this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You might feel lifting, spiraling movements. Some of our fields are being brought online here. Some of our chakras are going to be spinning that we haven't felt before, spinning. There's energy coming through portals that you maybe have not had open before. So just enjoy this feeling and remember it, these attunements, and we're going to ask for it to be saved and recorded so that we can start from this point every time we listen and want to bring these attunements back to their next level of expression, because nothing is fixed. As we evolve, our attunements evolve. Our body will keep being recalibrated as we let go and expand and lighten our field. Thank you. I always say that myself, I do nothing. All is done through me, with me, of me. And I surrender to these divine processes and share my gratitude and appreciation for the teams, the family of light that is supporting me in this way. I ask for divine support every time I sit in this beautiful, sacred heart space, that I bring myself back into this harmonic calibration, this divine expression of my soul, of who I am. Thank you. You may hear sounds, attunements vibrating through your field. There's lots of spinning, creating a real buzzy, almost feels like fuzzy, just love. It's just light and love. It's a bit floaty. So keep breathing up and down your pillar. If you find that you're floating a little too much, you just want to remind yourself that you are grounded. You are divinely connected into Gaia. Just had some beautiful expansions there. Our sacral chakra got cleared and expanded. That's our relationship chakra. Thank you. May our teams assist us in closing and sealing all this work that we're doing, all these centers that we may have had open when we're ready, when we're finished, when the processes are ready to come to a conclusion. And may all this work be recorded and be made accessible by all those who are ready. And may it integrate with grace, ease, light, and love, and divine empowerment. We thank you. Thank you, thank you. May we have a beautiful new default setting of this optimization where our portals and our chakras and our energy fields can find this beautiful configuration with grace and ease through my intention, through our intention. Whenever I sit and breathe into my heart, we thank the Ascended Masters that are helping with the geometry right now to assist us in this way. Trust your teams that these new structures of light are here to serve us. They're just asking us to revisit once in a while, whenever we feel a little bit off balance, that we, with intention, we sit in a space where we ask for the recalibration, so these energies can go to work and do their thing all over again. You could do this on your own as well, just with intention. There's a memory being created here. There's an imprint in the field with everything that we're doing. Just intend and ask. Thank everyone who's showed up in this moment to assist us. And ask them to become part of your maintenance crew, your team that assists you with this energetic and physical body and this emotional body and spiritual body that requires a bit of maintenance and tune-ups on occasion. And we thank the teams. We thank the temple space in our hearts that give us this beautiful high frequency container where we can come and heal and recalibrate in this way. And we thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm being shown a cup, and it's like the Holy Grail, and love is just flowing out of this cup. So ask to feel that. Ask your team to show you what this beautiful activation feels like, so you can connect with that energy as well. And I ask my teams to assist everyone in connecting to that. May everyone that's participating with this attunement be able to connect in through their divine will and find this beautiful cup of love, their hearts that's overflowing and filled as the Divine Mother flows through us with all her emissaries, all the angels, all the galactic, cosmic lineages that are connected to us, all the ancestors. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I just want to thank everyone in this space that joined in. All the brothers and sisters on earth that are ever here and listen to this brief moment in time. Maybe it doesn't feel so brief. It's a little bit longer activation than I expected, but it feels like it's very potent. Okay. Oh, it's just being brought in. You might feel this at your base chakra. And if you don't, just trust that you're receiving it exactly where you need to receive it. Because where I'm working isn't, it's more that that's what's in my highest. So everyone has got a different vibrational coordinate, so we're all working through different areas, different blind spots. And I thank you for your willingness to sit in this space and work through our blind spots together, because we share all of the light pathways that we activate when we come together like this. The beautiful coherent space that we create allow each other to expand those pathways within me, within you. And so we all grow, we all expand, we all enlighten, because we are of the same source. We're just wearing a different body in this dimension of reality. So that is the evolution, is activating these connections again, so that we don't have to go through all those old karmic lessons, all the density that we've put ourselves through by choice for our growth. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Whew, it's coming back in. Just being held here. This is, whenever I'm like this, I always feel that it's our grids, our Christed grids. And so that's your personal grid being lifted. And it's like, let there be light, it's being raised, right? Whew. Thank you. Okay. Whew. Okay, that was a bit more than I expected. And I'm going to go and do some stretching and let this energy move through me. You might want to dance and shake. And we really, there's a lot of stuff being calibrated. And hopefully you can feel that. And yeah, and enjoy this. And it's going to probably dial it in even more every time you do it. If you revisit this, it'll dial it in a bit more. I mean, you don't have to listen to my voice every time, but you want to do it. I'd say do it a few times if you can, because it's the pathways. It's those neural pathways where we've allowed the light to come through. We want to train them. So this process becomes the program where we say we want to bring ourselves into our divine coherent state and have our vehicle, tuned up and optimized. There's going to be I know what to do, and your field will just ripple it out, and it's just going to all it's like the NASCAR, and all the people come running, and they're going to they're changing your wheels, or whatever it is, and then you're off and running again. You see it like that. You have that kind of a team, right? That's the thing is, yeah. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoy the process. Okay. Sending love. Thank you.